As of me talking and SmackDown is about to begin, so knowing WWE, they're going to somehow psychically know I'm doing this video and screw me over. But as of me talking right now, Sami Zayn has only had one match on television since August 2019. It came on December 27, 2019, when he teamed up with his loser friend Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, where of course they lost, because they are loser friends, to Braun Strowman and the New Day. And yes, they do always lose, but that's another story. But it also means that here we are in February 2020. That's right, a brand new year, and we keep going forward. Sami Zayn is not wrestling on my television set. You may be asking yourself why this is the case, and if that is true, you've come to the right place. Somebody give me a prize. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it, because Sami Zayn ain't wrestling on TV. Why? Here is why. It all starts when the internet recently just decided that surely this was happening because Vince McMahon thought Sami Zayn was too injury prone and therefore he couldn't rely on him. And I don't know, maybe somewhere in the deepest, darkest parts of the boss's brain he has gone, oh, Sami Zayn, who's too injury prone? I'm just going to have him a manager. But that is not the reason why he is a manager right now. And I don't know, because I don't know Vince McMahon personally, even though I do get told on a daily basis that I am a WWE shill and clearly I'm on the WWE payroll, and that Vince himself rings me up and goes, Simon, you've got to give this segment a golden up. But amazingly, none of that is true, so I'm just guessing. So then you're asking, what is the reason? Well, I am going to tell you it's nice and simple. It's always nice and simple. It comes down to creative. Because as Mr. Meltzer told us on a recent episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Vince McMahon has just looked at Sami Zayn and gone, oh, I think I'd like him to be a manager, and I think I'd like to put him with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then a few weeks later went, oh, we got Cesaro, he ain't doing nothing, we can throw him in there too. This does make me think he looked at their win-loss record and went, these people never win, we can shove them together. But again, I don't know. So the writing team has been told to write for him in this role, and I understand that it's very strange, especially because a few months back he was popping up on Raw going, I've got a manager's license, which means I can go anywhere I want. But that's what they want to do. It's why some wrestlers and employees and independent contractors within World Wrestling Entertainment sometimes get a little bit annoyed because they get used in the ways they don't want to get used. In terms of when that may change, well, who the hell knows? But we should point out that Sami Zayn has actually been quite brilliant in his role. I do have to once again say that in terms of the group, they're not very threatening, but they just turn up and get their asses handed to them. But there are a few things more entertaining on SmackDown than giving Sami Zayn a mic and allowing him to run his mouth. I think he's added to Nakamura's act too simply by standing alongside him. And when it does come to the Swiss Superman, well, Cesaro kind of just like floats through WWE at the moment. I mean, he's likely one of the most talented guys on the roster. That's another story for another video at another time. The real shame is that heading in this direction is starving us of one of the most well-rounded wrestlers that WWE does have on their books. Now, if you never saw Sami Zayn in NXT, because back then it wasn't as popular as it was now, so you weren't bothering to tune in, he was like the quintessential babyface. The idea of him going to Raw or SmackDown and doing his act, but on a bigger stage, well, it absolutely sent your mind crazy, because like, oh my gosh, he could be, honestly, not in the same way, like a different character, but he could have been as big as John Cena. He was the ultimate underdog. He would have been able to worm his way into our hearts, and while he kind of did do that, the issue was he never got to win the big one. And you can't be the underdog without winning the big one, because then you fail to be the underdog anymore, and you're just a pile of crap. Nowadays, that seems a million miles away because WWE and everybody involved seems to be more intent on pushing him as a heel. And once again, he's very good at being a heel, but then you have more problems because how many times has Sami Zayn debuted a new character or a new gimmick, and then in a few weeks, it's just been killed, it's been shot, it's been dead. It always seems to gain some kind of momentum before the rug gets pulled out from underneath him, because just think back to WrestleMania and the night after when he returned. He was like this snarky, I hate the fans and I hate internet culture and social media is toxic, and while he still has some of that in his rhetoric at the moment, it's just not the same. Because again, after a few days, after a few weeks, after a few months, he kind of went off at a dingo angle before coming at a different angle, which of course was this manager role. That is never going to help anybody's persona, and it means you really struggle to engage with the fans because it's the law of diminishing returns, and it's boy who cried wolf. If you can't trust this person is going to stay on like a set road, you kind of give up a little bit because you don't want to feel screwed over, and I completely understand that. It's a little bit like Braun Strowman. Some fans are giving up on Braun Strowman because before he won the Intercontinental Championship, they were like, well, he never does much of anything, so I'm not going to overly invest. Then, of course, there's the flip side to that when WWE goes too far in with a character and you get someone like Roman Reigns, and the fans go, well, I'm not going to invest because I know no matter what I do, it's going to happen anyway. Wrestling is just really complicated. You've also got to consider what exactly is the future for this group. As I've doubled down on around about 72,000 times, they don't really win very much. And if you want to take another step back, before Shinsuke Nakamura got with Sami Zayn, he was the Intercontinental Champion. And now, after this affiliation, he is no longer the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, even when they get together and they have 3-on-1 matches, they still lose. I mean, we have counters, we have gimmicks on ups and downs that prove that Cesaro and Sami Zayn never win a match. And if it keeps going on, start one for Shinsuke Nakamura too. So when you're on that kind of a run, it's not like you're going to put it on your CV next to the name El Generico. But as I've just dropped that, I think we should have a little chat about El Generico. I mean, surely we've got to open that door at some point. If you're not familiar with Sami Zayn's alter ego, or someone who was reportedly meant to be Sami Zayn's alter ego, I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody. He was just this incredible, stupid character that ran wild on the indie scene. All that mattered was that he was very entertaining. As the name suggests, he was just a generic luchador, and I know everything you just said, now you go, but Simon, look what WWE did with someone like Broken/Woken Matt Hardy, and I know you are correct, but also think where we are right now. Basically, I just want to see it, but also when that had run its course, you could actually have Sami Zayn back in a new position where hopefully he gets pushed up the card, because as I'm sure you've figured out, El Generico being a luchador wears a mask. And while yes, everybody would know that it was Sami underneath it, I've seen this in wrestling 1,000 times. I'm 99% sure that Mr. America was Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. And if you do all that, it means you've got storylines for Sami Zayn until the end of 2020, and that pleases me because I've always got this fear that he's just going to vanish from my television screen again, because it has happened before. But let's say that he has a falling out with Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, then El Generico comes to a WWE ring, and hardcore fans are going to love it, and if you don't know who he is, you'll love it too. It's a great character. But even when that's done, he can return as normal Sami Zayn, the wrestler, and we've forgot about the manager, and we can just pretend that him and Generico weren't the same person. And we're doing it right now. There you go, that is the reason. It's nothing to do with burials, it's nothing to do with punishments, it's nothing to do with crazy Vince McMahon being crazy. Someone just went, we would like Sami Zayn to manage Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. So right now, Sami Zayn is managing Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. And they are a good group. They are a lot of fun. They just have to, actually have something instead of a loss record. Really, it all depends what the chairman of the board likes. At least he sees something in Sami Zayn. I remember a time a while ago, I thought, well, clearly he doesn't see what we see, but we've kind of reversed that now, and I keep everything crossed. But basically, as long as Sami Zayn's happy, who even cares? He's living his dream, he's made it to WWE, he seems like a very happy cat, he's also like a bit of a philanthropist, a bit of a charity dude, he's always giving his money to all these amazing causes. Basically, I'm just a huge fan of Sami Zayn, so as long as he wakes up every day with a smile on his face, this bald asshole is okay. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Sami Zayn's run in WWE. Did you prefer him in NXT? Do you want to see him as El Generico, or do you actually quite like him as a manager? All these options are okay. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, and when you're done doing that, head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, some of which will be about Sami Zayn and his future. Follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. That will give you your news updates, and you can watch more videos here on the YouTube channel known as What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon Miller from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching. And as we did mention Cesaro earlier, and I don't think we'll be doing a wide video about him anytime soon, somebody please tell me what the deal with Cesaro is, because genuinely, I don't think I've ever seen him have a bad match, like literally never. So while we can go into, well, he doesn't cut very good promos, or his character's not very good, yeah, but surely at some point you still want to put him in a main event match against a Roman Reigns or a Fiend or a Seth Rollins, somebody like that, because you're going to get magic out the other side. Even if it's just on a random episode of Raw or a random episode of SmackDown. If he does tear the house down like he does every single week, then you're going to get people on the internet talking, you get people on Reddit talking, maybe the internet blows up a little bit, like, man, this Bull guy, he's absolutely incredible, Bull guys for life, and then you may get a few more extra 1,000 viewers. I don't know how it works. I ain't a TV executive, but it seems to make sense to me. I mean, why did he even join up with Shinsuke and Sami to begin with. I don't think that was ever explained on television. I don't mind him there. I like his weird James Bond entrance. I think he's got a little bit of a good gig going on right now. But he also seems, again, he just floats. He just floats. We never give him a proper story. We just know he's good in the ring, so we chuck him in there, but we never give him his due. So my point about this video that originally was focused on Sami Zayn is to give him his due and give Shinsuke Nakamura his due, but more important than all of that, give Cesaro his due. He was tweeting out the other day about when he shaved his head and about how he left it too long, and I found that very inspiring because I did the same thing. So this is what we've learned today. Sami Zayn is El Generico, Shinsuke can surf and do whatever he wants, Cesaro is the best, and don't worry about shaving your head. When you realize when you're going bald, it happens to the best of us, and as soon as you embrace it, you'll feel a lot better about life. Weird, these videos, aren't they? I'll see you soon.